Welcome to A Journey with Food, Body, and Life podcast, a show for self led women who are ready to step into their own transformation with food and body. I am Haneen, a certified eating psychology coach and a mom of two. I believe it's time for a deeper approach to our nutritional health, one that not only helps us heal with food and body, but also heal with our life. Join me each week for guidance on your journey so that together we'll find your way back to fully loving yourself. If you are tired of the mainstream approaches and you want to go deeper to heal with the root causes of your challenges like emotional eating, binge eating, body image issues, and you're ready to live in peace and freedom, then this is the perfect show for you. Hi there, and welcome to episode 10 of A Journey with Food, Body, and Life podcast. In this episode, we are going to delve into one aspect of our eating experiences that isn't focused on enough in the health and wellness space, and that is how we are eating. Oftentimes, we see professionals and people talk about what to eat, how much to eat, and when to eat, but disregard one of the most important aspects of our eating, which is how we are eating. In other words, how we're approaching food and our eating behavior. And in particular, how mindful we are when we're eating. So, in this episode, we will examine the implications of mindless and mindful eating, highlight the benefits of adopting a mindful approach, and I will share with you a couple of steps to help you kickstart your mindful eating experiences and practices. So, without further ado, let's dive in. Let's start by understanding what mindful eating is. So, mindful eating is an approach to eating that involves paying attention to the present moment, engaging your sensations, and being aware of your food, your thoughts, and emotions, and the act of eating. It is a practice derived from the principles of mindfulness, which involves cultivating non judgmental awareness and being fully present in the current experience. When practicing mindful eating, individuals strive to bring conscious awareness to their food choices, eating habits, and the sensations and feelings associated with eating. Now, there is a huge misconception around mindful eating, and it's that when I'm mindfully eating, I'm watching what I'm eating. In other words, I'm being careful with my food choices and I'm always choosing to eat, let's say, healthy foods. So I'm mindful of what I'm choosing and therefore I am always choosing the healthy version and taking in less calories and making sure that the food that I'm choosing is not making me gain weight or stop me from losing weight. So this is not mindful eating. This is a concept derived from dieting, and that is completely the opposite of mindful eating. Mindful eating is all about how you are approaching food, and it's derived from the, as I said, mindfulness approach to living. So, when we are adopting mindful eating, we are cultivating a healthier relationship with food and a stronger connection with our body, its needs, and the present moment. And with that being said, on the other end of mindful eating is mindless eating. So if I'm not aware of my eating experience, if I'm not present while I'm eating, I am most probably mindlessly eating. And mindless eating refers to consuming food without conscious awareness or intention. Our eating experiences are affected by external factors such as distractions, emotions, or environmental cues. For example, I am eating while sending an email or using my phone. So this is mindless eating. Or maybe I am eating while thinking about something that happened in the past, or I am planning something for the near future, or maybe worrying about the far future. Or I am eating in a very busy or noisy environment, or maybe I'm eating out with my friends, but their whole talk is revolving around good food and bad food and dieting and how they want to lose weight and what they should be eating and should not be eating. And I feel affected by their talk and I am absorbing it all in. All of this causes me to be detached from my eating experience, and therefore I am mindlessly eating. On the other hand, mindful eating involves being present and all in with our eating experience. It involves engaging with food in a deliberate and attentive manner, fostering a deeper connection with our bodies and the nourishment we are providing it. So, when it comes to the health consequences of mindless eating, it can have detrimental effects on our health. When we eat mindlessly, we often fail to register the signals of hunger and fullness, leading to either overeating or undereating. This can disrupt our body's natural balance and can actually contribute to weight gain or malnutrition on the long run. Mindless eating is also associated with poor digestion, as we may rush through meals without adequately chewing or savoring our food. And of course, all of this might lead to digestive discomfort and whatnot. In contrast, mindful eating offers numerous benefits for our physical health. So, by cultivating a mindful approach, we become more attuned to our body's hunger and satiety cues, allowing us to make informed decisions about when and how much to eat. Here, we no longer rely on diets or diet rules to determine how much to eat and when to eat, but we are relying on our body to get all of these answers. Mindful eating also encourages us to connect with our body to make the best nutritional decision. We get to assess if what we are experiencing is emotional hunger that is driven by our rising emotions or unmet needs, or whether it is actual physical hunger or simply a pleasure hunger that can be satisfied with a relatively small amount of a pleasurable food. So, by that, we are prioritizing our nutritional health without relying on diets, food rules, or guilt and shame with food. All of this can enhance our nutrient intake, support digestion, and contribute to improved overall physical health. Now, physiologically speaking, and this is very important and unfortunately overlooked, when we are mindlessly eating, we are in the sympathetic nervous system, or in other words, the stressed state. This causes our digestion to shut down. Same thing for our metabolism, calorie burning, muscle building, and other important processes that are related to our digestion and digestive experience. For that reason, you can be eating the healthiest version of food on earth. If you are eating it while you are in the stressed state, you are absent or stuck in your mind thinking about something, you are not optimizing your eating experience and the food you are eating. This is why it is very important to shift to the parasympathetic nervous system, known as the rest and digest state, that will prioritize your digestion above all the other functions in your body. Same thing for your metabolism, calorie burning, muscle building, and other functions. And how to shift to the relaxed state? That happens via mindful eating. Now, another crucial physiological factor to consider when eating is that when we are not present during our eating experience, our brain is not being involved. And here's the thing: there is a strong connection between our gut and our brain. this connection aids us in receiving our body's signals like hunger, fullness, and satisfaction. And when we are not being present, there is a disconnect between our brain and our gut, and therefore we might miss our fullness cues and then maybe overeat, or in another case, we might miss that we got enough satisfaction from the food we are eating and just keep on eating, adding more food to our body than it wants. And there are countless other experiences we might face with eating when we are not doing the connection between our brain and our gut. We want our brain to be involved and ready to receive and send orders back and forth with our gut and digestive organs. And once again, the way to achieve that is via mindful eating. And by the way, I have a whole self-paced program on how to adopt mindful eating. It is a step-by-step guide for you to get introduced to mindful eating on a deeper level and how to incorporate it into your everyday experiences and develop it into an eating habit. So if you want to inquire more about it, DM me on Instagram at hanin.eatingpsychology. That's HANIN.eatingpsychology. Now, the last thing I want to share with you before I start giving you tips on how to incorporate mindful eating, I want to share with you the psychological implications of mindful eating. So, mindful eating positively influences our psychological well-being. When we engage in mindful eating, we create an opportunity to connect with our senses, savor the flavors and textures of our food, and fully experience the act of eating. In fact, this is one of the aims of eating, and that is to enjoy our meals and to enjoy what we are eating. And when we are mindfully eating, our brain is registering this pleasure. And for many of us, and I want you to reflect on your own eating experiences. Many times you find yourself that you are comfortably full, you had your meal, you are full, you don't feel like, you think that you don't need food anymore, but there is this strong urge to eat something desirable. And one reason for this urge, of course, there are many other reasons. One reason for this urge to be present is that your brain did not register the pleasure you had from this meal. And therefore, your appetite will still be open so that you can eat more and then for your brain to register this pleasure. So that's why it's very important to be mindfully eating so that your brain can register this psychological need from food. And with that being said, this can actually enhance our enjoyment of meals. It also promotes a sense of gratitude and foster a healthier relationship with food. So mindful eating also encourages us to approach food without judgment or guilt, and by that we are reducing the stress and the emotional burden often associated with eating. And by being present and mindful, we can cultivate a more positive and balanced mindset towards nourishing our bodies. Now, let's move to the application part of this episode and let's talk about how can you start adopting mindful eating into your eating experiences. But before, I want you to take a couple of moments so you can stop this episode and just reflect on your current eating experiences. So, on a scale from 1 till 10, how mindless versus mindful are you with your eating experiences? 1 being completely absent and mindless, and 10 being super mindful and you are 100% present and there's no distraction and you are connecting well with your body and all these things. So, where do you stand on that scale? And just know that when you are identifying on this scale from 1 till 10, here we're not judging you or telling you, oh my gosh, how bad are you at this? No, we are simply bringing awareness to where you are at with mindless versus the mindful eating, and then for you to know how to start making the shifts and the moves and where you actually want to start when it comes to adopting mindful eating. And then I want you to reflect and think about the following question. What is keeping you away from being more mindful when you are eating? So, is it the distraction? Is it that you don't have enough time to mindfully eat? Is it that you are afraid of food and then you feel very anxious when you're eating and therefore you can't slow down or bring more awareness and other things? So, I want you to identify what is keeping you away from becoming better or increasing your mindfulness practices when it comes to eating, and then consider the following steps that I am about to share with you. You can select one or two because I don't want you to feel overwhelmed, and then start working with these two steps you selected to improve and to start shifting your eating experiences. So, with that being said, here are some initial steps to help you begin your mindful eating experiences and practices. First of all, the first step, remove distractions. So we want to minimize distractions during meal times by maybe turning off your electronic devices, taking a break from work, putting away your phone, and maybe creating a calm and peaceful eating environment. This will allow you to focus on your food and the act of eating. Now, the second step after removing distraction is to breathe. So, here I want you to sit at the table and then take a couple of deep breaths. This will allow your body to shift from the stressed state to the relaxed state and allows you to connect with the present moment and with your body. Now, the third step would be to engage your senses. So, before taking your first bite, take a couple of moments to observe the visual appeal of your food. I want you to appreciate the aroma and notice it, and then notice the different colors and shapes and the textures of your meal or the food you are having. So, engaging your senses helps you heighten your awareness and enhances the overall eating experience. Now, the fourth step would be to slow down. Take your time while eating and aim to eat more slowly. This allows you to savor each bite, fully experience the flavors and textures, and tune into your body's signals of hunger and fullness. Now, the fifth step, which is chew thoroughly. Now, I don't want you to count the chews before swallowing because this is a very distracting experience, unlike what is being advertised. It is actually important to chew thoroughly, but I don't want you to make it into a mechanical act. So practice mindful chewing by taking smaller bites and chew each mindful thoroughly without counting, without counting the chews. Pay attention to the texture and taste of the food as you chew because this not only aids in digestion but also allows you to fully experience the food and its flavor. Now, the sixth step would be to check in with your body. Throughout the meal, periodically check in with your body's hunger and fullness cues. So, here I want you to stop more than once during your eating experience, tune into your gut, and ask yourself how hungry or satisfied you feel. This self awareness helps you to make more conscious decisions about whether to continue eating or whether to stop. So, can you see how we are relying on our body to get to answer these questions instead of relying on diet plans to answer the questions of how much to eat and when to eat? The seventh step, which is a little bit deeper than what to do, this is all about cultivating gratitude. So I want you to develop a sense of gratitude for the food you're eating and the nourishment it provides. It always helps to consider the effort that went into growing and preparing and serving the meal. So, expressing gratitude can shift your mindset and deepen your appreciation for the food you are consuming. And the last step would be to practice non judgment. And this is maybe one of the most important steps, and that is to be kind to yourself and avoid self criticism or judgment about your food choices or about the food itself that you are consuming. So instead of judging it as bad food or good food or whatever, just try as much as you can to be neutral towards that food. Mindful eating is about fostering a positive and sometimes a neutral and compassionate relationship with food. So, embracing the mindset of self acceptance and focusing on nourishing your body with balance and moderation is what we want with our eating experiences. And always remember that mindful eating is a skill that develops over time with practice and patience. Starting with these initial steps will help you lay the foundation for a more mindful approach to eating. And as you become more comfortable, you can explore additional techniques and strategies to further enhance your mindful eating practice. And as I mentioned before, if you are interested to learn more about adopting mindful eating and how to incorporate it into your own eating experiences, you can DM me on Instagram at hanin.eatingpsychology. That's HANIN.eatingpsychology to inquire more about the mindful eating program and to purchase it. So, in conclusion, the choice between mindless and mindful eating holds significant implications for our physical, psychological, mental, and physiological well being. Mindless eating can lead to a disconnect from our body's needs, whereas mindful eating fosters a deeper connection with our body and promotes a more balanced and positive relationship, not just with food, but also with our body. And as I always say, by embracing mindful eating, we are nourishing not just our bodies, but our mind and our soul, and we are enhancing the overall quality of our life. Alrighty, guys, that's it for today. I wish you a blessed journey with your food and body. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next week.